Hello, this is Yaakov Kronenberg from Jerusalem, and tonight another class in the series of classes on Scorpio ascendant and Mars in the different signs. Tonight we'll be doing Mars in Scorpio, where it's in honor, right? So the person is going to be very Scorpion by nature, right? Because he has the ascendant in Scorpio and he has the ruling planet in Scorpio. So all the qualities of the Scorpio are going to be accentuated in the chart. The man will be very complex, very defensive, he wants to know everything about everybody, but he won't reveal anything about himself. He has difficulties in relationships. That seems to be the main problem of Scorpios, is they have complex relationships with people, and there's always analyzing motivations and behaviors and things like that, and they always get into complex situations. But Scorpio is a deep mind. The person's got a strong intellect. They love to analyze things. They love to go to the depths of things. If they have whatever they're involved in, they want to do it as deep as possible, and they're very serious about life. And they're tremendously good at analysis, at getting to the depths of things. And they're very passionate by nature, very sexually oriented, very let's say they're very analytical. Analytical is maybe not the right word. Let's say they're very deep. I guess that's the main word that you use with Scorpio. Scorpio, they never give up. They always want to, analyze and investigate things more. And it's connected, of course, we always say it's connected with the 8th house, the house of death. It rules matters connected with death, matters connected with sexuality. It rules all the mystic arts, including astrology, kabbalah. A person's got a strong 8th house will have an interest in mysticism. It's connected with other people's money. They tend to like money also. And so all these things are going to be important when you talk about Mars personality with the ruler in Mars, ruler in the first house in Scorpio. Now, when you have the ruler in the first house, we always talk about that makes the person very sure of themselves, very set in their ways. Remember, Scorpio is one of the most fixed signs, very fixed sign emotionally. They tend to get emotionally attached, and it's hard to break attachments to Scorpio. And so they have both planets. They have the ascendant fixed, ruling planet fixed. And so they're not going to change their ways, right? When you have the ruling planet in its own sign, it never gives itself over to anybody else. So it's there for, it's always looking out for number one, and you can't get it to veer from its path. The person knows what he wants to do, and he's going to really try to do it one way or the other. And right, because it doesn't have a dispositor. Mars is in its own sign. Tonight I want to do the horoscope of a man. I know very little about him. He was the only person I can find who, looking around for a chart, who is a Scorpio with a Scorpio Mars. And he was a very famous man, but there's not that much information about him because he died in 1957. Died at a young age, 52. His name was Christian Dior. He was from France. And he was a very successful fashion designer, and eventually became the head of of a fashion house in Paris, and which is still run today under his name, became very famous. His designs were very famous, and he himself became very famous. But you look at his chart, the first thing that sticks out is you see the Mars on the ascendant. Remember, Mars is a malefic one way or the other. Mars is a malefic, and it's in the sign of a malefic. Remember, it's in the sign of a malefic, Scorpio, so there's a lot of Martian energy there. And so he must have been a very tough businessman, must have been hard to get along with. And you look at you just look at his chart, taking a trip around, you see also Saturn is very powerful. Saturn is on the 4th house cusp, opposite the ascendant, also in honor. So he has his ruling planet in honor, and also the ruler of the 10th in honor, which is nice, because they're both in honor. It indicates success. But remember, they're both malefics, and they're both in the sign of malefics. There's a lot of malefic energy there. And you don't like Saturn in the 4th house as a rule, because Saturn means a person is born with Saturn in the 4th house. It means they were they had a difficult childhood. And they don't have much. Saturn can be very successful there, but usually it's a difficulty with happiness. They don't know what happiness is. They can have everything in the world, but not be happy. People with Saturn in the 4th have to cultivate happiness, have to work and learn and find out what it means to be happy. So he had, as you look at his chart, those are the first things that sticks out. And also he has Neptune very powerful. All the malefics in his chart are very powerful. Saturn, Mars, and Neptune is trine the ascendant and trine Mars. So it gave him an that maybe added the artistic ability to his chart. You don't really see so much the artiste in him. He's got Venus exalted, but it doesn't make any profound aspects as far as I can see. Squared to Pluto, which just means complications in the romantic life, jealousies and things like that. But it doesn't seem connected with his career. Actually, he's got the rule. I made a mistake. Excuse me. I said that the ruler of his 10th house is in honor, and it's not true. The ruler of his 4th house is in honor, but the ruler of his 10th house is Leo, and Leo is in detriment in Leo. Excuse me, again I made a mistake. His 10th house is Leo, and the ruling planet, the Sun, is in detriment in Aquarius. And Behemet, in truth, he had a family. He came from a very wealthy family, but at a certain point in life, his family lost all their money, and so when the Great Depression came, and that's indicated from that Sun. The Sun, the ruling planet, is in depression, and is in detriment, and it works for the 4th house, the house of the family. So he started off on top. He lost everything, his family, and then he himself took life seriously and became successful. There's not much known about his social life. There's a lot of rumors. It seems like he was basically a homosexual, and he was also a drug addict, and that makes sense with his, because he's got that. You just don't see the happiness in the chart. You got the Mars on the ascendant, Saturn opposite the 10th house, in the house of the home, not much of a home life, right? The Neptune, very powerful. He makes the drug addict, right? Neptune was trying double approaching trine with Mars, double trine with the ascendant, almost an exact trine with the ascendant. The drug addict in him was there, you see that sticking out. And the homosexual, again, you see it, he just wasn't, that's hard to find in a chart. I don't want to speculate, but it looks like it, right? There's no indication that he married or had children or anything like that. And so I thank everybody for listening, and I hope they enjoyed the class.